Hey everybody, Radaman here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included, episode 71. So, yep, alright. I was gonna say, yes, this ship should not be here. So I ran the napkin math, oops, wrong screen. I ran the napkin math, and we are going to probably have to do research all the way up to like 60 or 70k in order to get all the research. So we're going to be running research missions for quite some time yet. So with that in mind, I wanted to fix what I see as a major issue. But first things first, Crash M mentioned, yeah, this liquid lock is not going to work for me. It is not going to work for me. The reason being, all of the heat of the launches are hot enough it can melt... although launches are hot enough it can melt copper, yeah, my little petroleum and, let me mop it up, actually. My little petroleum and crude oil is not going to survive launches. I don't know why I thought that might be the case. So I did notice some things. One, that I do not have an automation wire that leads down to the southern natural gas. And the problem with this is, of course, it will overpressurize my storage tank, and, well, that's kind of a problem. So, what I'm going to do is disable this pump here, and start running the unbelievably long automation wire. It's made of lead, so it's not really, you know, a material that I much care about. I have so much lead, it's ridiculous. Running this will allow us to remotely, well, not remotely, but through wires, turn off the pumps so that our natural gas does not overpressure. So, this is going to be my first project. It's a relatively simple one. And while the dupes work on this little construction project, I wanted to start to prep the next construction project. The next construction project is far more involved. So one of the issues that we have in this colony, which has been going on quite some time, is that all of the oxygen that we get is about 160 Fahrenheit. The problem with this, of course, is there was oxygen previously in the base, of course, and it's getting warmer and warmer progressively, and it's going to reach a point where it's going to be inhospitable. So I need to create an air conditioning method. I need to create basically air conditioning. Now there's two ways to do air conditioning in Oxygen Not Included, or two main ways. Either you can do the radiant pipe or radiant vent or something, you know, some sort of radiant system where you have something cold, you know, like maybe it's a liquid or a gas or whatever, but you have something cold run through and cool it down. Or, alternatively, you can literally just do what real-life HVAC does, which is releasing cold oxygen. Well, air in real life, but... And that's the method I'm going to take, because I've already done the other method. I'm not saying it's the superior method, I'm just saying I've already shown you how to run coolant lines. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is all of the oxygen that I'm generating here is going to be treated and cooled, much the way I've been cooling the petroleum coolant, which is over here, and then only then piping this oxygen that is cooled to the rest of the base. So yeah, that's definitely the plan. All right, now that this pump's disabled, I will rewire it a bit. So it's a rather sizable project, and one of the ways to increase the speed of this project... Oh, why are you here? I honestly don't even know. You were not stranded in any way, shape, or form. So one of the ways to increase the speed of this project is to run these transit tubes over a little bit. Even just a transit exit would help. So Something like that. Maybe I'll just put the transit exit here or something. I don't know. We can have it there for now until I figure it out. So the way I want to lay this out is pretty much the same way I want to lay the other one out, which is just a giant hydrogen generation here. But I actually want to do one other thing. I wanted to somewhat redesign my natural gas generators as well. So the reason to redesign the natural gas generators is because we are using hydrogen for a lot of different reasons, or a lot of different uses, but we are not using natural gas as much. I only have 2 generators there, and we could definitely have more. So here's what I'm going to do. And gate like that. But I also don't really want to cool down the natural gas generators, so I'm going to have it be external from the base. I don't want it inside the base. So those are sort of 2 big projects that I intend to work on. That are my goals. So first things first, one of the things that we need to do over here is add in some storage bins. I'm just going to put them down here for ice. We're going to want a place to put all this ice so we can sort of clean up the area and get it ready. And in order to do that, we need somewhere to put it physically. So I'll be setting that up. I don't think we need more directlets. No, not really. I think I could probably disable all of these for a long time and not feel the need to, yeah, we don't really need to add any more critters. Opening up the star map, yeah, so we have a space mission going on right now, grabbing more research so that we might finish up the research tree. And I am just trying to juggle all of the projects I've got going on here. So one of the things that I will need is a way to bring power over. So let's do a heavy joint plate. I'm going to put it, I'll put it here. Putting it there will have to remove this Weezewort and the tile, but that's fine. So this will run out like this, and then we'll pick up the power on the other side and add some transformers. Okay, we are also cleaning up a whole lot of granite, and soon a whole lot of the, you know, ice as well. Speaking of ice, if I'm sweeping up a whole lot of ice, one of the things that I need to keep an eye out for is leaks in my water filtration, because this area does not hold a lot of volume. In fact, I could do... I'm going to reduce the volume of ice that this automatic storage, let's say 3,000, just so that it doesn't overflow. I want to avoid overflows if possible. So one of the things I'm doing up here is moving the wires to the top. As I think that will be a better spot than sort of in the middle that I was running it previously. And all this will give this a 7. My duplicants are still working on the automation wire, but as you can see, I actually did get some overflow. I didn't stop the flow in time, but I did notice it. So there is not going to be too much natural gas, but some of this natural gas is going to settle out, and natural gas is heavier than most other gases, so it will settle out near the bottom. But if we take a look here, most of this automation wire is done. Yeah. we can re-enable this pump now because it is receiving a do not pump signal from... oh yeah, it's almost done, but it's going to be receiving a do not pump signal from the Atmos sensor. This Atmos sensor controls the overflow, because once it hits 20 kilograms, the high pressure gas vent can't take any more gas, and then it will outflow, whether it's natural gas or not, incorrectly, in other words. All right, I'm going to change my hotkeys so that they're nice and centered on what I want to pay attention to. So over here, we are going to be setting up, the same sort of the same sort of nullification system that I have elsewhere. I did also want to, and as you can see, my duplicates are doing it now, deodorize some of the gases in here because I don't want to be working. I will be vacuum sealing the chamber here, and then adding hydrogen because hydrogen helps. It has more thermal conductivity than the other gases, but yeah. Oh, so here's a perfect example. This section here is actually outside of the base now, if you recall, and as you can see, it is filling up with natural gas. Or not filling, but like natural gas is settling there. Totally fine. And strangely by design. So some of these objects here I can remove. Well, I can't. I'm not deconstructing the nullifier, but the floors I can remove and replace with something more conductive. Speaking of conductivity, let's get some additional wolframite for tungsten because of its thermal conductivity properties. And I'm also going to find my other ice bins, copy the settings, and paste them to these 3 new ones. So now we have a easy place to put the ice. And we are, what is there? Polluted dirt? Yeah, let's definitely sweep that up. Is this all awaiting plastic? Maybe it's not worth making this transit tube. But what I will do is I will enable the return trip transit tube so that we can travel there and back a little faster. In fact, I will actually build like a little plastic, just because I think they'll be commuting a lot. All right, let's see. Some other issues in the base. So now we've fixed the natural gas overflow. I do want to still focus on this project here. So I'm going to make a little room so that our duplicates get in here. The reason why I'm placing this outside of the base is I don't intend to insulate this area all that well. But the natural gas generators are going to produce a lot of heat, so what I need to do is I need to set it up so that they're in exosuits while working here, and not have it be a part of the base. I mean, it's part of the base, quote unquote, like the larger base, right? But you'll have to be exosuited to get here, and that's for survival's sake. Because I don't want to kill any dupes. Speaking of killing dupes, one really good thing to have is a triage cot built at all times, which is something I've dreadfully violated. Because if you have a dupe that's unconscious, you can only really save them if there's a free triage cot. So I'm just going to whip up like a micro triage room here. Maybe I'll add 2 cots because I have the space. But there, little triage room. Just so that if I do have a dupe in trouble who's unconscious, when dupes become incapacitated for whatever reason, You'll have, I don't know, something like 2 minutes to save them. And the saving them task is basically hauling them to a triage cot. So if you don't have one constructed, that could spell death. And then you'll have your duplicants mourn for a few days because you murdered one of their own. Something I would very much like to avoid. Alright, so removing these floor tiles will disable the nullifier, but I'm going to be replacing those floor tiles with a more conductive material to help transfer heat around more quickly. So metal tiles, so high thermal conductivity and thermally reactive sounds like the perfect material for me. Which is why I'm mining out some more wolframite to turn it to tungsten. Right now I'm out of tungsten, so I'm just telling them all to get a little extra tungsten. All right, let's get this all filtered. I will also mine here and here to add traditional deodorizers. I'm just going to mop this up. Actually, I'm going to mop the whole area up and try to vacate all of the debris. Okay, looking good. The power project. Oh yes, this has taken a backseat to everything else. That's okay. Building broken, a robominer. Okay, so if a robominer is broken, it indicates that I do not have my coolant. Nope, 125. I do not have my coolant set to the right temperature. That's my bad. I think what I'm going to do is add 2 more Wheezeworts in here from other areas, like this and this Wheezewort. It is really hot here, but you know, that's just the way it's going to be. Alright, so I have a lot of these robominers that are overheated. Yeah, the other one's overheated. But coolant is coming. It's going to just break a few times before the coolant actually arrives, I think. Alright, so here's the wolframite I wanted. It is a little pointless to, I'll be honest, to mop up the polluted water because likely we're just going to get more and more of it as things melt. And then another thing I wanted to do is the old glass line here. I'm going to break down because it runs right through where I want to set up the AC coolant, and that's not going to work for me. So I'm gonna get that moved as well. A lot of what I just queued to sweep is fungal spores, or not fungal spores, frost buns, you know, sleet wheat. So I'm gonna have my guys prep for that. So up here in this spot, this will be another joint plate, and then once this joint plate connects to the hydrogen generators, I'll break down everything. I'll break down the rest of it. Okay, so it is a lot of work. A lot of this is just long commute times. In fact, I could help that a little bit doing this. Minor changes here, but worthy ones, I think, if we're commuting a lot. Because as you can see, they are so much faster running on this plastic than they are climbing over whatnots. All right, star map, 81% done. So my plan is to do pretty much finish up the research tree before changing over to acquiring space age stuff. That's sort of the plan. Okay, here we go. Plastic ladders. What else? I'm always looking for more fires to put out. So this fire has been put out where the liquid lock is now gone, because it was honestly a super foolish idea. And I'm glad, Crashem, you pointed that out to me, because that would have introduced a whole lot of really disgusting gas right into my base. Okay, why are we getting brownouts here? Oh yeah, we're actually browning out. Legitimately. I think it's probably all the transport tubing that is going on that is browning me out. I'm not going to stop that. So I guess I don't care. I'll just brown out from time to time. It's fine. Alright. Then the other thing here is I'm going to put in a plastic ladder in lieu of the stone one I had. A plastic ladder here. I don't know why I would need a plastic ladder here, but I have a lot of plastic, so I'm gonna do that and put one there too. Actually, before we put this plastic ladder, I'm gonna dig, or walkway, I'm gonna dig a little bit. Okay, everything here, as I usually do, the ridiculous, super high priority of nonsense. Yeah, I know. Priority creep, yeah, I'm aware. Ooh, that is some debris. Alright, let's dig this as well. Now, the rocket will, the reason why I try to dig this up and sweep it is the rocket will absolutely decimate the regolith upon landing. That's not a problem, but it will heat up this area and throw the debris around, and I kind of don't want that. Okay, the priority of everything here is now going to be 8, except for sweeping up the slime, which will remain a 9. Alright, so we have, it says petroleum engine needs to be dug out. Yes. So this is exactly what I meant. The rocket is landing, and it's already entombing the petroleum engine, which is kind of annoying. But, boom, there. Perfect example. But the thing is, now this regolith is unbelievably hot. Alright, so from this mission we got, what artifact is that? A robot arm. Nice. Alright, so here is Sine Curve, back from his journeys. I do intend for him to just basically go off on another mission after sweeping up all these data disks and the robot arm, rather than doing the research. I'm going to have him prioritize space missions, because I know that I'm going to need a lot of data disks. Yeah. I'm going to need a lot of data disks, and I might as well do all the missions back to back to back to back until I have all the data disks I require. Alright, checking back over here. We have got progress. We have now swept up all the slime, which is good. There is, of course, polluted water going everywhere, but that's par for the course. All right. Well, it's a work in progress. It's going to be a lot of work and very slow progress, but it'll be worth it in the end to have cool oxygen. So if we take a look at the oxygen temperatures feeding to the base, it's about 115, 112. It's too hot. And that has been slowly creeping up the ambient temperature of this base for a very long time, and it is about time that we do something about that. So that's the whole purpose of this project. Let's get another space mission in. Hopefully there won't be any oxalate issues. Hopefully it will just be one dupe hauling one armload of oxalate and not making a mess and muck of things. Alright, as far as mopping goes, I would love to have this not be nasty. Not that anyone's getting their feet wet, it's just a personal preference. Totally personal preference. So nobody's hauled the... Oh, because it's one priority. Okay, please, please, please don't oxalate. Don't torment me with trolling oxalate. I might want to wait a little bit for Sine Curve's stress to go down since last mission. So I will... Yeah, he's not assigned anyway. I'm just refueling the rocket for now. Ooh, are you refueling it? There he is! 569 oxalate. Boom. Retract. Hey, it didn't bug out that time. But at least I sort of have a go-to to how to fix it. If in fact it happens again, I'll just, you know, I'll just deconstruct and hope that helps. Okay. Let's get all of this polluted water swept up. I know I'm doing a lot more cleaning than I probably need to. I just want to make it aware that, like, I'm aware that I'm doing more cleaning than I need to. But this project is not really a rush for me. It's just a nice project to do. You know, we've been adding hot oxygen to the base for many cycles now, and there's nothing special about the urgency now. You know, it's just, I'm gonna get it done. Now, another nice thing to have might be insulated pipes on the coolant return trip, because this petroleum is pretty hot. So I'm going to insulate it, but I'm not gonna really prioritize you know, prioritize any of this. It will just get insulated when it does at you know, priority 5, wherever that might be. But these brownouts are really annoying. So if I want to solve the brownouts, let's shift gears and add some more natural gas to our grid. Okay, so the bottle emptier is all tied up due to the brine that I'm hauling away. Because yeah, that's the issue with this coolant, is the aqua tuner keeps browning out, and that's no good. But here comes the new coolant. So now that this is built, the most important thing to do here is to connect the power up so that I can reroute power. And then I'll start redesigning this area so that it is natural gas power station ready. That's my plan. So a door from the outside. And let's set this up to everything here to just sweeps 7s, I guess. Just so that we can fix the power problem. Now that sine curve is no longer... Oh god, someone needs to dig. Now that sine curve is no longer stressed, we can send him on another space mission. I just didn't want to overstress him. I'm just trying to be nice to my dupes. And let's get these triage cots too. It's been almost 850 cycles. It's about time I get some triage cots. So I'm trying to transition away from primarily generating power with hydrogen, and I'm going to be generating it with natural gas instead, so that I can use the hydrogen in nullifiers and stuff like that. Other projects that are going to require me to, you know, not drain all my hydrogen constantly. But whoever's supposed to be digging this up... Oh, there we go, finally. I was gonna say, taking you a minute, Bryce. No offense. You can take your time. Ah, there we go. Now haul all the regolith away. Assign sine curve, and we'll be blasting off to another mission. So let's pick a new destination. This destination has trace amounts of fullerene, 8% iso resin. We'll go to this oily asteroid next. Gonna open up the bunker doors. Here's sine curve going on a space mission. Retract the gantry. I don't think I'm gonna be able to sweep this in time. It'll drop. Or no, you got it. Wow, legendary. Okay. Good luck. We have blast off. Alright, well now that that launch is underway, let me focus on the power grid. So we have the new cables here, which means that the old cables, these cables, are no longer needed. So this is now my high priority, just so that I can repurpose the area. Now, my next plan is I'm going to have to actually remove some of these batteries. So I'm going to build a temporary battery that drives these natural gas generators. I'll build a temporary battery here. Because it needs some sort of automation in order to work. So this will be my temporary battery, so that these don't turn off while I retrofit the other area. So if I want to slowly phase these out, these are going to go from 80 to 70. And then these are going to go from, let's say, 80 to 90. So that I primarily use one over the other. Now, I am also going to drop the height of the ceiling one. I don't know why I built it, where I built it. Guess I just wasn't forward thinking. But yeah, let's drop the height of the floor, rather, not the ceiling. Drop the height of the floor a little bit. And the purpose of this is so that we can get lights on the natural gas generators for the purpose of tuning up. So that we can tune it up better. Where is this polluted water coming from? My goodness. Could you not? Could you not just keep leaking? I'm sure it's just like stuff melting, but I don't want you to melt. So my kcals seem to be pretty stable. Yeah, everything looks okay. It's all a whole lot of work in progress. My Oxalite's almost done making, which will be nice because I'll be able to stop powering up the Oxalite refinery, which is expensive. Okay, so this all should be the new 9 project because I really want this done. So next up, the mesh tile will be at this height. And actually, just to make things faster, while we build it, I'm going to build it from the inside of the base, but then eventually force them to use the outside. Well, alright. While I have constructors here, I won't do that. But it'll be faster to construct this from inside, but then eventually only have outside access because it's an area that's going to get very hot. So hot that I might even want to double insulate it. But this progress is looking good. Oh, more brine. I guess we're going to have a lot more water. Well, things over here are slowly getting swept, which is looking good. We are preparing, for, you know, the project over here. And this will also aid the project of the volcano taming eventually. Obviously, I'm going to have to remove these plastics when we tame the volcano, but that comes eventually. Alright, so now that this is all broken down, I am going to force lock this door so that I can build from the inside, which will be faster. Now that this battery is set up, does this battery have... No, it does not have power yet. And then the automation, let's copy this over and set automation wires to run to it like this. So we're just, it takes a while to retrofit, but all this should be 9s, and this should be a 9 as well. So now we'll start building from the inside, and that should speed it up. I should definitely speed up the sweeping, too. Alright, so the power itself, which is the natural gas generators, we will build 4 of them. I know what you're thinking. You're just like, oh my god, that's so many. Yep, it is. It really is. So down here, what I'm going to want is, we want some sort of trough to catch the polluted water, like this. And then what I'm going to do is, at the very, very, very end of the trough, I'm going to have a liquid pump. And then the run of the trough, I'm going to have mesh tiles, so that we don't have to step, well, that we just move faster or whatever. It just looks a little bit nicer, I think, personally. And then the last issue is going to be where exactly to put the power station. So I'm gonna, that's why I built a secondary battery here, so that we can move these batteries over. And remove them from the grid. It's kind of sad to basically be deleting all the power that are in these batteries, but like, this project is bigger than that. Bigger than just a few batteries. So ultimately, I'm not all that worried. Alright, I'm going to disable this gas pump so that the pipes aren't full. Alright, taking a look at the power setting. Okay, all of that can go now. Automation wires. Okay, so what's really, really, really important, and yeah, okay, it's already a 9, is building this wire here, because without that wire, I kind of don't have this natural gas generator running, which is a problem. Come on, someone. Please, just build that wire. Alright. Oh, there we go, finally. I know. It's hot and you're getting your feet wet. Yeah, that's all the reason I'm putting this outside. Okay, so now that that's done, let's get this constructed. And then we are going to... we're going to deconstruct some of these older walls. Because eventually what I want is a power station like right here. Or something like that. I've yet to exactly decide where it's going to go, but it's something like that. And then we're going to have the batteries that store the natural gas outside of the power station for size purposes. Because at some point, you know, your power station can only be so big. It maxes out at 96 tiles. And beyond 96 tiles, it gets disabled. So if we put a power station here, let's make sure that let's make the power look nice. So what actually we want here is a heavy watt joint plate instead. And then what powers this pump here, I'm going to do the same thing that I did previously. Well, actually, you know what? We could just... It'd be expensive, but I could just do this. Okay. And one of the advantages of lowering it one tile is for tune-up purposes. We'll be able to tune these up a little faster because of the lights. And then the mesh tiles won't block water, so the pump will still work. Speaking of the pump, one of the things I'm going to need to do here is... I want to insulate it just so that I'm not dumping heat into my base. What is this line? Oh, that's the petroleum coolant line. Okay. And let's move this bridge down one. Especially now that there's no petroleum running through it right now. So delete. I'm going to disable this pump for a minute so I can just reroute the power and the water and all that. Not power, I meant water. Alright, so now we have ceiling lights. Copy and paste the settings. If we take a look at this power, obviously these cables aren't really required anymore. And it will eventually look something like that. So, constructo. Okay, so the pump's off. Let's delete this run of water. And then we'll want the pump back on soonish. It's not going to overflow anytime soon. Like, natural gas generators don't pour out polluted water that quickly. But it's something we're going to want to do. So now we have this bridge out of igneous. Oops. Out of igneous for the coolant. And then this. Now that as soon as the pipes exit the base, I don't really care about heat anymore. But yeah, there we go. That is how I want to lay it out. Now we're just waiting for the dupes to finish the job. But this over here looks great. Nice and clean and full of plastic. Not everything is super fast. Okay, these sleet wheats, forget. I'll probably stop making frost buns at some point. So I have stopped the intakes. So the heat that comes off of this CO2, I'm going to want to keep in insulated pipes as well. I'm just more cognizant of the heat I generate nowadays. So it will look something like this. This will be my my CO2 run. And then something along those lines. Okay. Now if we close this up, and prioritize this real good. We will have, that's unreachable. We will have a beautiful new natural gas grid because we have quite the excess of natural gas. Star map, 75% of the way done. How's that robot arm? Yeah, I really don't think I'm ever going to override all the ugliness here. As you can see, it's just too ugly. It's still negative 200. What is the, what are the gold statues given? 100. You know what? A few more gold statues might actually do the trick. But I'm not really going to be able to place them anywhere close, right? So, therein lies the problem. I don't want any of those printables. Alright, so we're starting to insulate stuff just out of concern for heat generation. Alright, come on, dupes. You're doing a really good job. How's my igneous? Because I know I use a ton of it. It's lowish. Alright, if it's that low, let me get a little more. Fortunately, I have a vein of it, if you can call it a vein. I have a vein of it pretty close by. There's no debris. We are slowly putting tungsten metal tiles in. Very slowly. But making the power plant the priority because of the brownouts. It's funny because I'm not even browning out anymore. Because I think we're not using transport tubes to get to this construction project. Hence the lack of brownouts. But, you know, it's still a project worth doing. Alright, so how's the igneous dig? Oh yeah, we already dug it up. Wunderbar. There. That's a little bit more igneous. I gotta be careful exactly where I dig, because I don't really want to uncover all the chlorine. Even though it's out of the base, I'll leave it there. I don't need that. Okay. For sweeps, let's sweep up all of the stuff we don't need in here. Now this doesn't have gas intake. It will in just a minute. And then what I'm going to do is turn on all the natural gas generators and then run these tanks dry in order to be able to break down the old piping, the old ventilation systems, so that I don't end up releasing natural gas where I don't want it. So now that this is more or less constructed, I'm just waiting for a few, well, I guess I have to prioritize that. Waiting for a few intake pipes. We are just about ready. This here is going to generate a ridiculous amount of heat. Yep. I'm a little worried about the amount of heat that will be conducted through these joint watt plates, but we'll see if that becomes an issue. What is this? Oh, just a random automation wire that shouldn't exist. Okay, we can break that. All right, so here you go. You can see the natural gas generators starting to cook up. These, however, aren't tied to battery yet. What I could do is I could put a smart battery in here. It's almost like it belongs. And then hook it up to automation wires. Because right now what's happening is these natural gas generators have no notion of how full my power grid is. And as a result, they very well may be generating power unnecessarily. Yeah, they're definitely generating power unnecessarily. So you could see all of the insulated vent pipes, gas pipes, preventing the you know, too much heat from escaping. And now I'm just waiting for the automation wires and the battery to be put in. That's the last important component. But during this cycle, I should have it built, and that will be the last thing I do this episode. So just to recap, not that I'm ending it just yet, we managed to prep a sizable amount of this project here, ready for AC nullification. We have, our astronaut's home. I hope he hasn't been here too long. It's stressful, climb and climb and climb. So here's all the databanks. It does not look like he had an artifact come back with him. So we did yet another space mission, and we set up a better natural gas generating system to rely more heavily on natural gas so that we can conserve our hydrogen for cooling purposes rather than power purposes. But I'm just waiting for the last of this project to be constructed. So we'll just copy this battery setting over to the new one. Done. All right, it's very scalding in that room. So now it's time to force duplicants that want to go in here to wear suits. Why is there one on and not the rest? Oh, all right, right, because I'm out of gas. Okay, sweet. I don't... I'm going to have to create a temporary bridge, methinks. Let me do that real quick. Just to... I could use my plumber's plumbing skills to... Oh no, Bryce, don't go on the other side. Nope, stop it, Bryce. Alright, let me give Bryce some, like, pointless... Hey, run all the way over here. Like he's a lost puppy or something. I'm gonna need to, yeah, create that sort of... Yeah, I know. Soggy feet, you're getting hot. I know. Alright, so this is using up the last of... Oh, yeah, maybe it will use it up on its own. Alright, so all the ventilation is now done. Let's break it down real quick. Break these old jennies down. Mop. Destroy. Take a look at the plumbing. Everything left of this can get gone. All these here can go as well. And this will be the last thing I do for realsies this time, is break down the old grid in lieu of using the new one. So, why... Oh, so I need to re-enable the gas pump critically to be able to enable the gas generators. That's what's going on. Because I let the tanks run dry for, you know, control purposes, so that I don't leak. I hope they get this pipe broken quick. I don't think gas will travel out there. No, because it has nowhere to go. Alright, so now the gas generators are set to go. It says outside a power plant, so let's see how big this is and see what I can do about that. This is 113 and maximum needs to be 96. So let me aim to fix that somehow. I think the way to do it, albeit ugly, is to run my power like this and sort of remove the ceiling. Except for where the lights are installed. And that will remove some space. And I can min-max it even more if need be. I knew it was going to be, you know, some tinkering here and there. So if you take a look, what over here can be broken down? So let's make this power cleaner, like this. In fact, what is this battery even for anymore, right? Sorry, old battery, you're going. And then we'll run the power in, let's put this as 8. We'll run the power through the ceilings here, which will look a little cleaner. So this up here will be heavy wet joint plate and heavy wet joint plate. This joint plate can be deconstructed. And then the power eventually will run to these batteries. Everything over here looks all set for the bit of a redesign. Lowering the ceiling so that we might be able to make this actually a power station and not not whatever it is now, like some sort of invalid room. All right, circuits have overloaded. Oh, you know, I crossed circuits somewhere. Where did I do that? Right here. I know, this episode just keeps going and going and going. I'm now over an hour. I will be wrapping this up soon, but it seems like every time I do one thing, something else needs addressing. All right, so I think that I fixed that circuit that was incorrectly connected. All right, and then we can have the power stem here. I would like to leave this off with this actually registered as a power station. So that's my goal. So we are 12, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 away at a 16. So that's not a lot of space that I need to trim out. One... Yeah, okay. I think I know how to do this. Let's go like this. And move this down one. And this down one. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Our heavyweight joint plate connects here instead. Actually, the door doesn't need to move down. Well, it wouldn't hurt. So let's move this down even one more. Look at the just giant party of construction right now. All right, taking a look at the power. Obviously, this joint plate can get destroyed now, as can that up there. All right, this pneumatic door can stay open. And then if we take a look, we can power this up here. Get rid of this. Almost. It is a race. Add in this bad boy. Fix the burned out cables. I did burn a few cables out. Okay, what are we to now? 98? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be able to do it. Add mesh tile. And 97. And one more makes 96. So actually, as it turns out, I don't need this here. I was going to shave even more room, but I'm fine with it being perfectly sized. And voila, 96. It is now a power station. Now all these natural gas generators can get tuned up. And I am now using natural gas far more than hydrogen, which will allow me, as you can already see the benefits, build up my hydrogen supply, build up my hydrogen surplus, so that I might eventually be able to generate some coal over here. That's the hope. All right, everybody. Well, that is all the time I have, plus more time. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. We are coming pretty close to a close of Oxygen Not Included, so if you'd like to see this series continue, here's how to go about it. Because I've had some series end in the past where people wanted it continued, but without actually a show of support, you know, things end when they end. So if you'd like it to continue, just hop on Discord. The link can be found at radamat.com. And on Discord, just express, in your opinion, the reasons why this series should continue, opposed to starting something new. And if there's enough support, I'll think about going past the 75 episode milestone. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all next episode. Farewell, everybody.